this team. Who's first? This young man right here. That's Christian Moore, and what a day yesterday. 4 base hits, including a home run to open the afternoon, as Doug said. And we are underway at 1:02 Eastern Time. Glad to have you along on SEC Plus. Infield way back for Christian Moore, and Mason Moore already falling behind. He was the hero, one of the heroes of the regional championship team last year in that postseason tournament. Tremendous out of the bullpen. And now it's 3-0. They penciled Mason into the rotation early in the spring, and he is not disappointed on Sundays.
I think it's vitally important. You see him already off to a little slow start right now, but it's real important for him to get ahead of these good hitters, because when they're sitting on hitters' counts 2-0, 3-1, they are extremely dangerous.
3-1. That's right field, but it's going to stay in the ballpark. And that's James McCoy squeezing it. Their SEC portion of their schedule settling in. And now Blake Burke. And he swings at the first pitch he sees, but fouls it out of play.
I think that stat was a little higher. And then yesterday the Cats made a couple of errors, very uncharacteristic. Dropped that percentage just a little bit.
Burke leads the team in batting average. The California native batting .410. And an NCAA leading 20 doubles to go along with his 14 home runs.
You know, we talked about Moore and Burke at the top of that lineup, and then Dreiling very quietly not only has 15 home runs, but leads this team in RBIs.
Other than the home run yesterday, the Wildcat pitchers have done a credible job on this man. He's 2 for 9 on the weekend. Again, Mason Moore missing downstairs, but if you're going to miss against Tennessee, that's where you want to miss. But he goes again to 3 balls and 1 strike. Right at Emilian Petrie, and there are 2 out. So far, so good, but it's interesting, Doug, you have to look at it that way with Tennessee, the way the balls were swinging last night.
Well, that's true. They just rolled over on that one. But after yesterday, where they opened up with 2 home runs and then back-to-back doubles.
Yep.
Been an error, then another base hit. Before you know it, it's 5-0, and it was put a guy like Drew Beam on the mound, who's so steady. Hard for Kentucky to make that comeback.
Now Billy Amick, 12 home runs on the year.
Well, that pitch right there, you got a chance to see all the movement. Mason Moore has so much movement on his ball. If he starts it at the middle of the plate, it'll dart sink sometimes, and sometimes it will run.
Amick 1 base hit so far this weekend and falls behind, no balls, 2 strikes. Yeah, Tennessee chased Dom Nyman, Kentucky Saturday starter, who's been terrific, preseason All-American, but yesterday was a nightmare. Petrie will have to hurry to throw just a bit, but in a 1-2-3 inning before how he bounced back from summertime ACL surgery. Made it all the way back just about for the start of the season. Had to sit a couple games and opened the year as the DH until the doctors gave him the green light about 3 weeks in to get back out in left field and play some defense. He's done that at a very high level this year.
Yeah, it's good to see him healthy, and he's the catalyst for this offense. First fastball he saw yesterday, he hit out of the ballpark. Today they start him off with something off speed.
Sechrist locates the first one downstairs a little bit on the next one. Pulls the string but gets the corner. And you're right, a steady diet of, I don't know if you want to call it junk, but he's not going to.
Well, he's left-handed.
That's true.
And as we know,
you have a lot to say about those left-handed.
I tell you, they never throw a ball straight.
That one had a little bit of tail on it. Waldschmidt shortens up to go the other way.
Matter of fact, most of us would never go out and loosen up with a left-hander because they'd hurt your hand somehow.
Waldschmidt, like most of the Wildcats, will use the entire ballpark. That's the way this Kentucky team is put together here for Kentucky Proud Park. 1-2 pitch.
We see throw that off speed, and it's got that little running fastball that's somewhere in the high 80s.
Two balls, two strikes. Now it's full. Waldschmidt leads the team. He's drawn 27 walks, just one more than the man up next, Emilian Petrie. He's also been hit a team-high 11 times.
Wow.
Outstanding pitch under the hands, 72 miles an hour. And a good start for Tennessee.
Well, you can see right now, I mean, he just locks it. That ball had a lot of break onto it. It was up in the zone where he could hit it, but it was so much off speed and had Wally out in front. And that's what you're going to see a lot of from these pitchers today.
Sechrist 6'2", 193. Now Emilian Petrie, all-conference performer last year, made the all-defensive team. Has the average up to 305, 5 home runs. Two base hits so far this weekend, including a double, and 3 runs batted in for the Wildcats second baseman. Coming out of high school, one of the top defensive players in all of Canada.
As a shortstop.
Jams him, and it's Blake Burke taking the hole this weekend. Moved up because of the pulled hamstring suffered by Devin Burks, the catcher, in the win over Louisville on Tuesday. And Grant Smith with an excellent bunt for a base hit. That is the first bunt we've seen this weekend by the Wildcats, who a lot of people think about they play small ball, but Kentucky does whatever it takes.
I think that's perfect technique. You watch, he's not afraid. He gets squared. He knows that the third baseman's down. All he has to do is get it in fair territory, and it's going to be a base hit. That's just perfect.
Cats fell behind so early yesterday, they didn't really have much of an opportunity to put pressure on the Tennessee defense. So now Nick Lopez, the switch hitter. More comfortable from the left side, but he has gone yard from the right side this year. And his stats are similar from either side. Batting .390 overall. Tied with Petrie for the team lead, 14 doubles and 4 home runs. Transferred in from Southern Cal. Wildcat base runners have to pay close attention today. This weekend, Tennessee has picked off 2. One by the catcher, one by a pitcher.
There hadn't been a lot of base stealing. And really, neither defense has really been tested, I don't think, in the first couple of games, because the balls that have been hit have all been in the outfield pretty much.
Now they've got him picked off. Grant Smith, they guessed right on him, and Grant guessed wrong. Ranked number 4. Balls are ranked number 3 in one other poll. There's so many polls, but we go with D1. As Kavares Tears swings through the first pitch he sees. And we talk so much about the crowds here at Kentucky Proud Park. The entire series was sold out early in the week. Now there's standing room on the concourses. There's sitting room on the berms here at KPP and on the limestone bleachers, as we call them. You see part of that great crowd. Almost solid blue. A lot of orange here, though.
A lot of orange here.
And a good start to this inning for Mason Moore with his first strikeout. And that was pretty much of a typical way that Moore's going to try to set up these hitters.
Exactly. Yeah, he's trying to get ahead. I think it's real important. Once he gets ahead, then he's got a good off speed and a good breaking ball that he can really have those hitters off balance.
Hard to believe this is season 8 for Nick Mingione.
Oh, my goodness.
The job he's done here, as you see, coach of the year in the league, his first year. 3 straight 30-win seasons. And, you know, it was interesting about that first year. People say, well, they came in there and he won with somebody else's players. Well, yes and no. He had to recruit some new guys, but he had to re-recruit the guys who are here, and I don't mean the way they're re-recruited now because of the portal and NIL, but a lot of the guys, the veterans he inherited, had kind of lost some confidence. 1-1 to Dreiling.
Another changeup. Yeah,
With
he's
the
done a
two
heck
home
of a job.
runs.
And, it's when you look at the job he did last year with that bunch, especially the guys he brought in, he seems to have a knack for getting some of that talent with the portal, as well as developing some of these young freshmen.
That 2017 team lost to North Carolina. In fact, swept by the Tar Heels opening weekend in Chapel Hill. After the game, Mingione spent 45 minutes telling them how good they are and how well they had played, which they did against a top 10 team that weekend. And he scheduled it that way because he told me I needed to see what we have. And so to play a good team like Carolina, coming out of that weekend, he knew what he had.
North Carolina had some of the best pitching in baseball that year.
Yep. 2 balls, 2 strikes. On the fists. And the infielders debate, discuss, and it's Grant Smith taking the ball in short right field. And there are 2 outs. So, yeah, if you can imagine a coach after a 3-game loss saying, fellas, we're good. You guys are good. You can play this game.
Yeah.
Just the opposite of what I saw the meeting in the dugout. I thought, boy, he's really getting into them. No. He was explaining why they were so good, and they've eventually bought in. And the players told me that we just weren't sure about this new guy and, if we're really all that good. And they learned midway through the year they were on fire.
Well, if you talk to him just in general conversation, you're going to get fired up, not only about baseball but about life, because he's just that kind of contagious personality.
Now Dean Curley.
And for you Tennessee folks that are listening, I went over and had a chance to talk with Tony Vitello today. Just thanked him for the graciousness he showed us by doing this program with us during the game. Now, if they're down like 8 or 9 to nothing, it might be a little different. But I thought he was hilarious yesterday when we had him on.
Kind of teasing his pitcher. Said he thought he was a great football player in high school. Most of them do, but they weren't. Then he said now he thinks he's a great golfer. Tony has a different personality, and I tell you what, he has built quite the culture with a capital C at Tennessee. College World Series 2 of the last 3 years. Grant Smith, 2 big hops. And that'll do it. 3 up, 3 down, nothing across. Is facing a Tennessee team that's ranked 4th as the Wildcats are unveiling one of their best seasons in their history. As Nick Lopez back to the plate. He was up there when Grant Smith was picked off. Volunteers making improvements to their home ballpark. That is foul. And when the balls got here, and of course they've been here before in this new ballpark, relatively new. It's been open since 2019, but highly complimentary of this facility. Lopez, Santa Ana, California native. Got a text message Friday night from Russ Pear, who retired a couple of years ago after a long career at UK.
He worked 100 years here.
I think he did. Well, he'll tell you it felt like it when he was overseeing construction of not just this place, but the football stadium across the street. Great pitch.
Boy, he's setting them up with off speed and then coming back with that sneaky fastball, which 87 right now, but it's looking a little bit faster after he's throwing this off speed stuff. And not only that, but really good location.
So now 1 out for Mitchell Daly. Yeah, I complimented Russ. I said this full house, overflow crowd had to be what you guys had in mind when you built this ballpark. Of course, he shoved the credit over to the AD, Mitch Barnhart. And that was on Mitch's long to-do list as the athletics director at Kentucky to upgrade the baseball facility. There you see Mitchell Daly, transferred in from Texas.
Well, the 25 years that Keith Madison was here, was that what it was, 25, I think?
Yep.
I can remember him talking to them about potentially getting a new stadium.
But meanwhile, Keith worked tirelessly to improve Cliff Hagan Stadium and wanted to make it look like a mini Wrigley Field. And other than the ivy, he did a pretty good job.
Yeah. Yeah, he put that stone wall in behind
the brick
it.
facade, yeah.
He got first. They got lights here because of him. Because we used to not play night games back in the day.
Daly dumps a 1-2 pitch into the alley. He'll make a turn, but he'll settle for a single thanks to Tears cutting that ball off. So now the Wildcats with a man on, one turf field. Jerry Claiborne turned it down. That plan included lights for baseball.
Oh, my goodness.
Ryan Nicholson off the end of the bat stays alive. Nicholson, the Louisville native, leads the team with 11 home runs. So, yeah, they were this close. Well, I don't know how close, but they were close to having those lights much sooner than they did.
Well, Wrigley waited a long time
That's
to have
true.
them, so I guess UK was doing the same.
And, of course, when it was time to play in the NCAA tournament, they brought in additional lights. Of course, the lights here at KPP are state of the art. And in at least one of these light standards, if I'm not mistaken, a red-tailed hawk is has built a nest, just as it did over in the Cliff, which doesn't exist anymore. It's been torn down for expansion of the track facility, a little more parking. Lefties get away with it, don't they?
They'll get a couple of looks over there, and, you know, he knows the reputation of Kentucky running at any chance they can.
They've already picked off one Wildcat, third of the weekend. Jamming Nicholson. And he falls behind.
Well, that good slide step he had to the plate really doesn't give you a chance to go. That time very quick to the plate, hesitated.
No balls, 2 strikes.
That's just, you know, that's well-trained, well-coached right there. You rarely see guys with big kicks anymore going to home plate. First base coach Johnny Hummel.
Daly 6 steals. He's been caught 3 times. Just missed the outer edge. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nicholson, 33 career home runs at Cincinnati before transferring to Kentucky. 16 last year for the Bearcats. And could top that figure this season. Crowd gets a little restless.
You know, we talked earlier about Cal Stark, and he calls a lot of the game. And you wonder if he's calling a lot of the pickoffs too, or that's coming from the bench. But they have so much confidence in behind the plate. Wow.
Nicholson knew it. Second strikeout of the inning, 2 down.
Just a beautiful pitch.
Might have been looking for something else.
Yeah, he's getting ahead with the off speed, and then he's putting guys away with the fastball, but really good location.
So now Nolan McCarthy, junior from Kalamazoo, Michigan. Nolan 3 for 8 this weekend with a home run. Doug mentioned it off the top of the broadcast. He had a big home run Friday. It was a 4-3 game, and in the 8th inning, knocked one high and deeper than we thought it was going to be, and deeper than he thought it was going to be to left. He wasn't sure it was out, but it just carried.
You can get fooled sometimes at this ballpark, either through the sound or because of the way it carries. Today, blowing out to right field. We saw some balls going out of play that were fouled down the left field line yesterday that actually got blown back into fair, not to fair territory, but back in
playable.
Playable, yeah.
Nolan 1 base hit in 4 trips yesterday. We talked about the way this team has evolved. He was a freshman on the team 2 years ago that came up a game short of making it to the NCAA tournament. That was the motivation all of last year. ripped.
Right at him.
There's Dreiling, and that'll do it. Wildcats strand one, and it's still scoreless in Lexington going to the third inning of 6. And maybe one of these two teams will be there. Maybe both will be there for the championship. They'll both be playing down in Hoover, and it is a special, special place. Hunter Ensley facing Mason Moore. You know, it's so great. We've talked about the crowds here, but they do flock to Hoover for the tournament, but the locals come out as well, which is so great outside of Birmingham. Just like the College World Series in Omaha. For many years, Omaha being the host, there weren't enough hotel rooms, and local families would take in ball players and be their hosts and let them stay at their homes.
Beautiful facility out there.
Yep.
Well, we got to go. I've not been. You've been several times. I have not been to Hoover.
Yeah. Recommend it.
All right.
Be prepared, though. It gets a little humid, a little
Okay.
warm, but it's worth it.
They got a golf course handy?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
In Alabama, are you kidding me? Grant Smith with a backhand. Just barely. Throws out Ensley. He was motoring.
Yeah, he got down that line good. I think I made mention the other day that there are a lot of shortstops that you see that I played with and against. You know, they'll get the ball and they'll get it over there just in time. But if they need a little bit more extra on their throw, they got it. And Grant certainly has a little bit more that he can put on that.
I hate to bust on him, but I'm not really. But he had a rare error yesterday.
No, well, I told him we could forget about that. You know, he was,
You infielders sticking together as Reese Chapman looks at ball one.
sometimes you got to have amnesia when you play this game.
Well, and you've mentored young Mr. Smith a little bit. I know you're not allowed to coach him per se, but you've talked a lot of baseball with him.
Ball's hit good.
That is hammered. Center field, but McCarthy's there. 2 out. Wind, by the way, blowing out to right. It was not evident at the beginning of the game, but naturally this is Lexington, Kentucky, so here comes the wind. It is blowing out, as you can see.
Yeah, and it may be the opposite direction here in a couple innings.
Oh, give us a couple minutes. It'll change. I got to say, though, the home runs that have been hit this weekend on both sides didn't need the wind.
No, not a bit.
They were all no-doubters for the most part. Even McCarthy's that snuck out Friday night and ended up clearing the entire bullpen. Now Cal Stark. Mentioned him before, Knoxville native. Battled his way into the starting lineup for Tony Vitello. One hit this weekend, a double in 8 trips. Jumps ahead, 2 balls, no strikes. Farragut High School, which has cranked out a lot of good ball players. I mentioned that top-ranked team Kentucky had in 2012. The guy who was the leader of that team, outspoken Michael Williams, a Farragut product.
Oh, yeah. Was that Michael Williams of the old baseball hat?
No.
Who was that?
Scutchfield.
No, he had that. What was Scutchfield?
I don't know, the hat that he wore all 4 years?
Yeah.
That you didn't want to be around?
You didn't want to
No.
come near it?
No, that was Scutch.
Okay.
3-1. Just missed the edge. First base runner for Tennessee. And now Moore must have tagged one when you hit it over the bullpen, over the concourse, onto the grass. Your alumni drive.
He had some good swings yesterday.
4 for 4.
Base hit to right, got pitches away, he'd hit to right field. If he got one inside, he'd turn on it, and then plus the home run.
Fly ball to right field his last time up, batting .359. Mason Moore changing speeds again. No balls, 2 strikes. There's the 1-2 punch at the top of the order. Can you imagine? You get by one, you got to face the other. They're battling for the all-time lead in home runs for the Tennessee Volunteers. Almost identical numbers.
Not just that, the number of hits they both have.
Oh, man. And here's the 0-2. We talked about Burks and his gimpy hamstring. He pulled coming around third against U of L on Tuesday night. But he is powering through it behind the plate. 1-2 pitch. Again to right field. This one's
Good,
deeper.
hit
McCoy. See ya.
Wow.
Takes a 1-2 pitch the other way.
And it's up in his eyes. And if that ball's down, he's not going to hit it. But when you get that ball up, and he likes to go that way anyway, it doesn't have to be hit all that good. But boy, just a credit to him for knowing what to do, not trying to pull off that pitch.
Home run number 17, up to 41 RBIs, and it's a 2-0 Tennessee lead. We had a pretty good idea.
Oh, yeah. And he knows he's hit it solid. Then you look at that wind, too.
So you walk the number 9 hitter. And he comes around to score. So now Blake Burke will try to keep pace. Got under that one. McCarthy battling the sun and the wind, still on the move. And so Caglione busy pitching well instead of hitting home runs. And again, he's 5-0, I think, in Sunday starts as James McCoy stands in. Batting from the right side, the switch hitter. James only 1 hit in 8 trips this weekend. McCoy, a two-way player for the Wildcats, has pitched some meaningful innings this season. It's a redshirt sophomore. Ran it in on him, still hit it hard, but nice scoop.
Wow, good
by
pick
Blake
first.
Burke on the throw by
Just kind of throws it right in the ground, but watch this nice pick. Oh, those first basemen, you love them when they can do that to help keep you from getting those errors.
And the turf helps a little bit here on those scoops.
Well,
doesn't
you
it?
get pretty good, accurate, consistent bounces on it, yes.
Now Devin Burks batting in the 9 hole. We mentioned earlier, is hobbled by kind of a gimpy hamstring. I'm sure the pain level, and obviously nothing he can't handle, but not his usual self. In fact, Devin now second on the team in steals. For quite a while, he led this ball club as a catcher in steals. So it tells you what kind of athletic ability he has. A couple of home runs.
Well, Seacrest getting ahead of just about every hitter. Trying to get him to chase away, but throwing that first pitch off speed for the most part, getting ahead.
This is such a big series. I mentioned earlier this week that his leg would have to be in a cast to keep Devin out of this series. Hammered, absolutely drilled, a hanging breaking ball, and Devin Burks can take his time jogging around the bases after a solo shot to make it 2-1.
Not much doubt about that one. Yeah, those are the best way to save those legs, Big D.
Home run number 3 on the season for Kentucky's leader. And look at the hero's welcome he gets.
You think he knows? Wonder what that feels like. I think he's just worried that it'll go fair or foul, and you got the wind not helping him much.
Breaking pitch right at waist level for Devin Burks. Now the top of the order, Ryan Waldschmidt. Didn't get cheated on that cut. He has 2 home runs of his own this weekend. That's the 4th homer for the Wildcats, who will never be confused with the Volunteers when it comes to power. Tennessee, though, with 7 bombs on the day. 6 earlier this week. I should say 7 this weekend by Tennessee. But 6 against Bellarmine in a win on Tuesday. And there's Burks about to gear up. 2-1 Tennessee as the lead cut in half. 1 out. He's got speed. Stark's going to try to make the play and throws it away. And Waldschmidt could have made second base, but he stumbles. And that's the second bunt single for the Wildcats. But as Nick Mingione said, if you play back on us, we will bunt. If you play in front of the bag, we'll try to hit it by you.
Boy, I love to watch when plays like that. Not only was this a bunt, you know his speed is going to help him. Gets ready to turn. Feet kind of go out from under him, but the job that Christian Moore did going over to back up, that was very impressive. We've seen him hit home runs, and now he's over there backing up, as well as the right fielder Tiers, both of them coming in there and could have made the play on that overthrow.
So with one out, Kentucky with a man on first, a run in for Emilian Petrie. And yes, Waldschmidt is a threat. 13 of 19. Kentucky, it's been almost a 50-50 proposition on steals against Southeastern Conference competition. There you see stolen bases, 80 for the Wildcats, 31 of those in conference play. And a bouncer, Petrie's got himself a single. Just out of the reach of Curley. Back-to-back base knocks for the Wildcats. Here we go. Kentucky uncorked 2 wild pitches that led to runs for the Tigers, who, by the way, beat LSU last night in the Battle of the Tigers. LSU almost came all the way back in the last 2 innings. So now Grant Smith. Grant bunted his way on. And as Doug has mentioned more than once this weekend, the Wildcats not afraid to take a swipe at third base.
DeSecris is so quick to the plate, though. It's going to be really hard for him to get any kind of good jump. Oh.
First pitch swinging. Right center. And it's Inslee hauling it in, but Waldschmidt, plenty of speed, goes in standing. So now they're at the corners with 2 out for Nick Lopez. Smith got under that just a hair.
Yeah, he got a pitch that he liked, was going to try to drive it that way, but just got under it. They've had Nick Lopez's number. He came into this series hitting well over 400. Tennessee has done a really good job keeping him off the bases.
1 for 8. Lopez began his career at Illinois Chicago, transferred to the JUCO in his hometown, Santa Ana Community College. Then a year as a Southern Cal Trojan before he worked his way back east. 2 out. Not a bad thought to drive Petrie back. He leads the team in steals with 19. He's been caught 5 times. You would like to have him in scoring position, obviously, if you're Kentucky in a game like this. Loaded up, wisely checked his swing, 2-0. Wind still blowing out to right. And that is sent to right, but it's short. Tiers circling, and that'll do it. Coming up, we'll talk to Nick Mingione, and we'll Devin Burke's hamstring. Unless he's in a full body cast, you can't keep him out of this series, can you? And he just came through for you.
Yeah, I tell him that's one way not to have to run fast. Just get it over the fence. That's one way to save you some sprints. There's no doubt about it.
Hey, Nick, what are you seeing from Mason Moore so far right now?
He's getting his ground balls. I thought his first 2 innings, he went 1, 2, 3, and then obviously he got in a stretch there by a 2-out walk, which those usually come back to get you. And then he didn't execute a pitch, but this guy answered right back, got a quick out, first pitch right after that, and he's going. When he's at his best, our infielders they're touching the ball a lot.
You've talked a lot after the game about resilience. You gave up that awful first inning yesterday and then played him even the rest of the way. That had to make you a little happier.
Yeah, obviously didn't get off to the start we wanted, but boy, did we finish strong, just with 27 outs and just giving up 4 runs after that, and after giving up 3, the night before. So long way to go. Great series, 2 teams duking it out, and great crowd. I mean, how about this? This is, again, 3 days in a row the Big Blue Nation has shown up, and they're here in their presence.
Nick, thanks so much. Best of luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Grant Smith has been a busy man, Doug, and that was the plan today with Mason Moore on the bump.
If he's getting that sinker over, as we said, the infield will be getting a lot of balls today. The one pitch he got in trouble with was up, and a hitter that's on fire right now, and Christian Moore took advantage of it.
So now Kavares Tears. And he's been busy in the outfield so far. Struck out his first time up and looks at a strike. That's vintage Nick Mingione right there, though. Your team gives up 5 runs before it gets anybody out, but you just keep going and you look for the good stuff that happened after that.
And they were just a hit away from being right back at that game.
Fooled him. It's almost like a swing and bunt, and Mason Moore with an athletic play. 2 out.
I'm sure Coach Madison, who's sitting next door to us, will look over and say, I told you, pitchers are athletes now.
He's Madison, the Hall of Fame coach for the longest time in Kentucky, and schooled a lot of pitchers in his day, put a lot of pitchers in pro baseball, a lot of players, period, but kind of a pitcher's guru. And Moore had to do a little jumping to avoid hitting the base runner and to redirect his momentum. Dreiling, first pitch he sees a fastball, and well, you saw Daly wanted it, but Grant Smith said, I'll take it. Quick innings. Mitchell Daly leads things off. First pitch swinging. It's deep to right. Here's, wow, that just kept going and going. Kavares Tears thought he had a play on the ball, and it winds up in the Tennessee bullpen. We're tied at 2. Home run number 4 for Daly.
I think the forecast said for 6 miles an hour, but I believe it's kind of amped up a little bit. That ball was hit, you get the right spin on it, and it just continued to travel.
Look at Tears. He thought he had a play on the ball. Maybe he might have to jump a little bit, but no way he gets that one. So now we start over. Wildcats come back again as they did on Friday. They made a run at the balls yesterday, but as Doug said, couldn't get that breakthrough base hit thanks to some really fine bullpen work by Tennessee. Ryan Nicholson, 1 ball, 1 strike. And this is the danger when it comes to home runs for the Wildcats. But it's a lefty-lefty matchup, as you can see. He was trying to give Kentucky the lead right there, wasn't he?
Yeah, they pitched him right in on his hands, and he hadn't been able to extend very much. They've had his number because they know if he can get those hands out and extend, he can hit the ball a long way.
Hit that one hard, and Moore can't handle it. You talk about spin, Doug, and that's not an easy play, is it?
No, and you got a couple options on that. You can try to get in front of it and block it. That time he thought he could just maybe pick it on a short hop. And the ball's hit right on the button, as we said, which a lot of balls have been. Yeah, he kind of turns a little sideways on that one. But that ball's a base hit all the way. See, these guys are smarter than we were. We used to get in front of them, get the heck beat out of us.
Well, it paid off with a Gold Glove, so. For the second straight inning, the Wildcats get a solo home run and then follow up immediately with a base hit. So now Nolan McCarthy, who tagged one last time up, and right at Dylan Dreiling and left.
And a little action going on in the Tennessee bullpen right now.
Nolan's batting average dipping below 300 for the first time in a little while. Nicholson is not a screaming threat to go. He has stolen 3 bags, and now a meeting at the mound. Here comes Tony Vitello. This may be it
Yeah.
for Xander Sechrist, and it is indeed. The call goes out to the Tennessee bullpen. I didn't tell you how many I lost. So now McCarthy facing a different lefty. And he finds his way on. Takes the bruise and gets an admonishment to first base. And now it gets a little chippy between McCarthy and Stark. And you can understand it if you're Tennessee, as McCarthy posed a little bit after he was hit by a pitch.
I think Stark said he wasn't hit.
And as we said, with first and second, nobody out, James McCoy at the plate. Grounded to short his last time up. Burke is halfway to the plate, and there's the bunt, and Burke makes the fielding play at third base. That is a heads-up play.
That is an outstanding play.
Because McCoy didn't have a whole lot of choice. He put it in the one spot where he had to put it as Devin Burke steps in. Homered his last time up.
It's one of those Keith Hernandez plays. He used to do that a lot. He'd play
right?
in, he'd charge, catch the ball, throw on the run.
Now McCarthy.
Well, I thought he was going that time.
I did too. Had a huge lead. Now you think about it, there really wasn't anywhere else McCoy could have put that bunt. He tries to punch it maybe past Burke, back up that first baseline, but I don't know if he gets it by him.
Well, the only way you want to try to make the third baseman come in and grab it if you could.
Right.
But that ball was bouncing too. If it's rolling, he can't make that play. But, as it was, he made a really nice play.
I have taken another look at it, but I'm guessing Amick held his ground at third, seeing Burke charge like that.
Yeah.
2 balls, no strikes.
Well, if he's staying back, the pitcher knows he's got the balls right at him or to the line. But, boy, just good heads-up play.
Now another batter punt.
What's the umpire doing? Why is the umpire even saying anything to him when the guys are...
Just trying to make sure he can keep the peace.
I guess.
Bags are full of Wildcats with 1 out. And again, Devin Burks doesn't need to test that hamstring, at least on the way to first base.
Hitting the ball on the button. Snead's got a really good arm. And it's going to be power versus power right here.
Third pitcher of the inning for Tennessee. Sechrist opened the inning, gave up a homer and a single. Then it was 2 batters hit by a pitch and a great defensive. How big does that play look now by Burke?
I mean, that
Turned that bunt into a force play.
Yes.
So there's 1 out with bases loaded, as Benke has a trip that lasted only 1/3 of an inning. Like you said, power versus power right there.
You don't have to pull it, though, to hit it out, as we've seen today. You get the ball up near the right field. And
The Wildcats just need Waldschmidt to make solid contact. Late run on that pitch outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Benke only threw 5 pitches. That is just foul. Just missed McCarthy at third base.
that looked like something off speed.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Snead doesn't have to give him much. You saw Stark set up way outside. McCarthy at third. McCoy at second. Burks at first. And he goes the other way down the line. Waldschmidt makes the turn. 2 runs will score. Burks lopes into third. And the Wildcats take the lead.
Boy, his stock just continues to rise. Since he came back, he keeps those hands back, waits, gets a pitch. Looks like it might be middle or away. It doesn't try to do anything fancy with it, just tries to go the opposite way, but does so with authority.
Well, we mentioned earlier, Waldschmidt likes to use the entire ballpark. And that time he sent Tears scrambling into the corner. But 2 runs around, 4-2 Kentucky, and that's drilled. Petrie sends it high and deep, but it's caught.
Wow.
Deep enough, though, so Devin Burks can jog home, and it's a 5-2 game. Boy, that got under the wind, and Tears had to cover some ground.
Man, he covered a lot of ground. I didn't think he had a prayer to get to that ball. He turned his back and took off. Made an outstanding catch and left.
So a 4-run inning for the Wildcats, and now a man on second with 2 out. Grant Smith, a fly ball to center his last time up. Got under it just a touch, first pitch swinging. Blew it right by him, 91. Now you got Snead coming into hard thrower, Doug, after you've seen 2 lefties who like to mix it up and slow it down and change speeds.
I'll tell you one thing about Kentucky, though, we've seen all year.
Runner goes.
They're an outstanding fastball hitting team.
Ryan Waldschmidt, defying baseball logic, steals third base with 2 out. But he had such a great jump. Smith trying for his second bunt single.
Well, it was there because you had Amy playing back.
Saw back in the 3rd inning how well Smith can push one to the left side. But now it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Curley has his feet in the outfield at short. Burks climbs the ladder just a couple of steps to pull it in, but the Wildcats hang up 4. They take a 5-2 lead. We'll talk to Tony Vitello coming up on the SEC Network the way you want, but you kind of expected back and forth all weekend with these 2 teams, didn't you?
Yeah, back and forth with good baseball. Last inning wasn't good baseball on our part. Wanted to make a change. Should have made a change when I wanted to there, so that's on me. But we've got a bunch of guys that like kind of being in the fight and bouncing back, so we'll see if they're ripe for that test today.
I tell you, Tony, one play that stood out, the play that Blake Burke made. That's an outstanding defensive play.
I mean, he's greatly improved defensively and also incredibly matured as a hitter. I don't know, daydreaming in the hotel, you're thinking about the games in different situations. Just it's been pretty impressive 3 years, and this year's obviously not complete with that kid. When his time is done, it's going to be a pretty good story.
And there's a base knock for Dean Curley. I'll tell you one thing, Tony, before we let you go. I've been so impressed with the discipline your players have shown at the plate. I mean, you don't accidentally play offense the way you do.
No, and that's the guy over there next to the camera, third base coach, Coach Elander, is really good at breaking down things with our hitters. And it's good they're disciplined in the box. If they followed their head coach, their discipline would probably be that of a third grader.
Hey, Tony, thank you, buddy. We appreciate your time. We'll let you get back to the game.
Yeah, you guys keep doing a good job. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
So now the leadoff man aboard for the Volunteers, of course, trying to answer immediately with Kentucky leading at 5-2 in the rubber game of a 3-game set. And Devin Burks wants to talk to his pitcher. Boy, an emotional lift for Tennessee for the leadoff man to come up and immediately turn one around and get a base knock.
Oh, well, it's Sunday, and you kind of expect things that we've seen a lot of weird things.
Oh,
but
yeah.
One thing, when you're a good offensive team up through that lineup, you're going to swing through 9 innings, and there's never any lead that's going to be too safe. So, but if you're Kentucky, it's important that right after you've had that big inning is to come get some kind of shutdown inning. If you're Tennessee, you want to get right back in the flow.
We've seen Kentucky all year, as we mentioned, come from behind and play resilient baseball and answer when it's had to, break through against some pitchers late in the game. But that's what happens when you got a special season going. 2-0 pitch. This could be 1, 2. Wildcats' first double play of the weekend, and it comes at a great time. 2 out here in the top of the 5th inning.
Well, we said they were going to get a lot of business if that sinker was working. This is just tailor-made. Come in and get it before he gets to that short hop. Nice flip. Of course, with that good strong arm there at second base. Pretty routine.
Grant Smith, Emilian Petrie, Ryan Nicholson. 25 double plays on the year now. 2 outs for Reese Chapman. Reese came on Friday night in the middle of that game as a pinch hitter, remained in the game for Dalton Bargo as the DH. And got the start yesterday. Had a base hit and drew a walk. 1 ball, 1 strike from Mason Moore. And as Doug mentioned, we expected to see lots of ground balls today. So we kind of thought we'd see at least 1 double play for the Wildcats. One ball, 2 strikes. And Mitchell Daly will take the trip across the infield to short right field. Tennessee turned a double play yesterday. Here's the 1-2. Well, the bottom falls out of that one. It's a 1-2-3 inning for the Wildcats. Lopez looking for his first base hit of the day. A fly ball and a strikeout, and shifts back over, as you see, to the left side. First 2 at-bats from the right side. Nick favoring not just the mustache, but enough eye black for you and me. It's kind of a signature now for him.
That's kind of the fun part about playing baseball, though. You get to do that kind of stuff. I always thought it was cool when you wore those flip-up sunglasses.
Yeah. No balls, 2 strikes. That is crushed into right field on an 0-2 pitch into the corner. Tiers with a running pickup, and he'll hold him to
Look at that
a
arm.
single. Wow. Tiers says, nope, not today. Not on my watch. You're not taking second.
I don't think anybody ought to run on that. Man, that's a hose.
But Nick Lopez with his second hit of the weekend. It gives the Wildcats a leadoff runner. And now Mitchell Daly, who is a good bunter, but his last time up, he dumped one over Tiers' head into the bullpen in right to get that big inning started for the Wildcats. So up the middle double play formation. Amick is in at least 1 step. May creep in a little more at third base. Burke holding the runner, of course, at first. Daly swinging away. And a good pitch by Snead.
Yep. You may want to give him a pitch to try to see if he can hit one, and if not, Ben may try to bunt. Amick's back a little bit now.
That's hit hard and high, but on the run is Inslee in tracking. And there's 1 out. Snead transferred in from Wichita State, where he made 24 appearances, 23 in relief last year. Said hello to the Big Orange Nation with a win in his first outing against Baylor back on February 18th. All he did then was go a career-high 5 innings, gave up only 2 runs. They knew they had something.
He's got a really good arm.
Now Ryan Nicholson. Snead got his first save for Tennessee in a win over High Point back in February. He's gone as many as 6 innings this season. That was against Illinois in a sweep of the Illini. Got a big save against Georgia in a series clinching win. Lopez testing Snead, taking a look at the move he has. He's 2 for 2 in steals. Nicholson singled in that 4th inning. And it was Nicholson who was thrown out at third base on that outstanding bunt play by Burke. He was the lead runner, and Burke threw him out at third.
Yeah, that was just an elite play, as we've mentioned several times.
And Burke has been crashing like that all weekend on potential bunts. And again, McCoy put the ball where you think was the one spot where you need it. But Burke gambled, and he won that matchup. Worked out for the Wildcats, though. 1-0. You know, fans who boo, I've talked to you about this before, when a pitcher throws over to first a lot, you got to consider the fact that it may be hindering his concentration when it's time to throw to the plate.
There used to be a stat years ago that said,
Ripped. Nicholson down the line into the corner. Tiers cuts it off. And again, he'll hold the batter to just a single, but Lopez easily to third. They're at the corners now with 1 out.
it used to be a stat on what percentage of strikes were thrown after the throw to first base. And I'm sure somebody's got one since this is a stat world now. Boy, he just picks that foot up, sets it down. Probably lucky that ball didn't get up in the air and go out of the ballpark. That's a really sweet swing.
Second base knock of the day. Ryan Nicholson now with 38 base hits. 4th on the team in hits. Now Nolan McCarthy.
They've been known to bunt in this situation.
But that was a get-all-you-can swing right there.
Yes, it was.
War one last time up, came around. Lined out to left his first time up. Big hop for Amick, but foul. And now it's 0-2. But every coach in America, every coach on the planet likes 2-strike hits. Lopez 0-2 on his single.
Yeah, those demoralizing too to a team and to a pitcher.
McCarthy trying to go the other way.
There's a good approach there. He waited back a little bit too late. Now you're just trying to protect, hit the ball on the ground someplace.
Try to avoid the double play. McCarthy runs well. Past the diving Curley, an RBI single on an 0-2 count from Nolan McCarthy. It's 6-2 Kentucky with 1 out.
Well, that's a couple of 0-2 base hits too. Those will drive you crazy. Yeah, that pitcher, he loves that ball up. Just a little out of reach of the shortstop Curley.
So McCarthy has driven in a run. He has scored a run. Nolan now 27 runs batted in, and the inning moves along for James McCoy. Laid down that, and it has just kept going. Took on a life of its own. It's actually Kirby Cannell. My apologies. Boy, back on March 30th, 5 innings of perfect relief pitching for Tennessee. 94 pitches, Doug, to get his 3rd win.
Wow.
Huge win. Now James McCoy. James, as we mentioned, reached on that fielder's choice his last time up and came around to score. They're at first and second, one out. Critical juncture in this one. Ball's trying to keep it close so that explosive offense can do its work. Wildcats looking to pile on. I don't know if you can call them insurance runs right now. It's too early for that.
Way too early. That's right.
They're trying to take control of the game.
You need to be greedy right here and get as many as you can.
Well, that's Curley on to Moore, and the double play ends the inning. So Cannell does his job, but the Wilds, and you're a volunteer, there's a pretty good chance one of your teammates is going to drive you in. Cal Stark did just that. Back in the third inning, he drew a walk with 2 outs and scored ahead of the home run by Christian Moore. So Cal makes his way to the plate for just the second time here in the 6th inning. Volunteers with just 2 hits and that 1 walk. Now, one of those hits, the home run by Moore. Kentucky with 11 knocks. They shift him to the left side deep.
We go for 2 games and we don't even see anything close to a double play, and then we get them back to back.
Yeah. Tennessee did have the 1 yesterday, early in the game. Boy, and both teams got their double plays. On the other side, it was teetering. The other side was just about, it looked like to break through, but defense coming through. Waldschmidt plays him a few steps toward left center. That hit him. And that hurt him. And again, you rarely see ball players respond or react when they're hit, but that stung.
It might have been on the wrist or a finger. It looked like he was thick. Yeah.
Wrist. But
And right on that bone, it looked like.
leadoff man reaches, and now the top of the order comes to the plate, and the dangerous Christian Moore. 17 home runs, 41 runs batted in. Ouch.
Oh, yep. There's that sinker in the hands that's going to be hard to hit. You know, it's amazing. All that garb that hitters put on these days, and the ball will find a way to miss it. Get some flesh.
Coaches like to say the game will find you. Trainers like to say the ball will find you.
Yeah. That happens also. Yeah, that's right. Out in defense, too, sometimes. If
Yeah. Can't hide.
you can't hide in this game.
So no balls, 1 strike to the leadoff batter out of Brooklyn, New York. Knoxville, Tennessee, just a little bit different.
Yep.
There you see the top 2 home run hitters in Tennessee history. Luke Lipschitz was the leader, and there you see Todd Helton's name on there at the number 5 spot. Not a bad slugger.
In a Hall of Famer, as we mentioned yesterday now.
Going in July, there's strike 2.
See, this is the difference with him keeping the ball down as opposed to it up.
That one ran away from him, too. 1-2.
Oh,
Tried for the same pitch, just a little off. Good take by Moore, although I don't know if he swings. I don't know if he gets that.
no, that's a really good pitcher's pitch and a really good job of not swinging at it.
So now it's 2-2. He may come back with the same thing. Tried to go inside, missed the edge. He's run it full on Christian Moore.
But that was another really good pitch.
Yep. The way Moore reacted, he might have been looking for a pitch on the outer half. Quite a battle between Mason Moore and Christian Moore. Christian Moore wins that battle. And streaking for third is Cal Stark, and he makes it, and that's a double now for Christian Moore. So a good start to the 6th inning. Twice, and a ground ball and a fly ball, and there's a good stop by Devin Burks. But as you could see, Mason Moore buried that one. Blake, a 404 hitter, 14 home runs. Bottom falls out of that one. Petrie, short right field, the second baseman. Nicholson guards the line at first. Daly well off the line at third base. Here's the 1-1. Did he? No. That one hit Devin Burks. He's down. And it's rare that Devin Burks reacts the way he is now, so that really caught him. As Richie Wells out of the Kentucky dugout, Nick Mingione, if they win.
If they win, that's right.
So back to work. And Mason Moore now has a technology issue. We got to find out why that happens mid-game. Do the batteries run out? Do people forget to charge them? Does one work better than another?
Gosh, I don't know.
So now we're apparently ready. 2 balls, 1 strike to one of the nation's top hitters. That's off the end of the bat. Waldschmidt on the run. Got a ways to go. It drops. Waldschmidt sends it home, but they cut it. And it's a 6-3 game. That was trouble off the end of the bat.
Well, Kentucky's made 2 mistakes here. Both these balls were hit, and the throw has gone into third base, which has allowed the hitter to continue to go on to second. I think if they had to do it over again, you try to keep at least a runner on first so you keep the double play in order. But right off the end of the bat, there's just not a lot you can do with that.
Daly with a good throw to second, but not nearly in time, as you could see. And the lead is now 3 runs with Billy Amick representing the tying run at the plate. So again, Cal Stark finds his way on. First did it with a walk back in the 3rd, and hit by a pitch in this inning. Comes around to score. Christian Moore comes on. That'll get another run home. Petrie with a running grab, and that gets through. So 2 more scored. And it's a give him one. They may give him a single and
an RBI.
an error. We'll see. At any rate, Kavares Tears with a big opportunity here. So a double off the end of the bat for Burke. A ball that doesn't leave the infield for Amick. Two balls, no strikes. Indeed, that was scored a single with an error. Now 3-0. First error of the game for the Wildcats, and it is costly. Here's a Lewisburg, Tennessee native, and looks at a 4-pitch walk. So now 1st and 2nd, nobody out. Christian Moore's double, a solid shot to deep left field. Otherwise, Tennessee just taking advantage of Kentucky mistakes, and a flare off the bat of Burke.
It's amazing. Game of inches, a call that may be just a hair off the plate.
Yep.
Or it could have been a strikeout, but it's not.
And now a dangerous hitter, Dylan Dreiling. Good pitch by Moore to start him off.
But you know, this Tennessee, obviously, and Kentucky's been like this all year too. Take advantage of what the other team gives you.
79 pitches for Mason Moore here in the top of the 6th inning. Pass Petrie, that's going to tie the game. It is 6-6. Wildcats scored 6 straight after falling behind 2-0. Amick coming around. Tier stops at second.
Still nobody out.
So Dreiling having himself a weekend. Cal Stark got things started, led off the inning when he was hit by a pitch. And then 2 doubles, an infield single, an error by the Wildcats, a walk, and a 2-run single. This will be the first bunt of the day for Tennessee if the Vols can execute.
You got a lot of options right here. Tie the game up. You got the momentum going. You can hit and run. You could just, wow.
2 balls, no strikes. You know, you go back to that pitch that hit Stark. Came with a 2-2 count.
That's right. It looked like a changeup too. Just came in on the inside.
That's when things began to unravel, and now it's 3 balls, no strikes.
Most likely taking on this pitch. Yep.
So the hitters count now for Dean Curley, Laverne, California native.
Oh, good looking freshman shortstop.
Bases loaded. Nobody out. So that moves Tiers to third. Dreiling to second. And brings up Hunter Ensley. Although Tony Vitello out of the Tennessee dugout. And we may see a new hitter.
Cannon Peebles, it looks like.
Yep.
Getting loose.
Peebles, a sophomore backup catcher. First time we've seen him this weekend. So he'll bat for Ensley. And a big opportunity here with the bases loaded, and Burks drove in a couple of runs against Alabama A&M earlier this month. Has a chance to do some damage here. They'll be off to a good start. Peoples batting .232. Loaded up, but did not pull that trigger. 1-1. Wind is picked up, still blowing out to right. Good block by Devin Burks, and it's 2-1. Novy likes to mix that off-speed pitch, the breaking ball. Got some pop on his fastball. Right field, McCoy is going back. That wind is pushing it. That'll get a run home. And will move one of the runners, and Tennessee retakes the lead at 7-6. So the pinch hitter does his job.
Well, that's a ticket now. You hit one out to right field. It's an adventure. Every ball seems like it's got a chance to get out of the ballpark. You got the bases loaded. You got a tie ball game. Your job is to get a pitch you can drive, and he does exactly that.
So Tears comes on. He drew the walk earlier, just a reminder. A 4-pitch walk at that. So now they're at the corners with 1 out for Reese Chapman. And could the Wildcats ever use a double play here? So you bring on Novy to face Peebles, who's a switch hitter. Now you see Chapman, the lefty. Oh for 2 today, a fly ball, a strikeout. Batting .340. Two balls, no strikes. Volunteers had given up 6 straight runs, had gone scoreless for a couple of frames, but suddenly put up 5 with a chance to do more damage. Foul. Sunday in the SEC, you don't see a lot of pitching gems. 2 balls, 1 strike. Got the inner edge under the hands. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Big pitch coming up for Novy. Grant Smith's going to take it himself. Wildcats get their 2nd double play of the day when they need it the most. Devin Burks to lead things off against Cannell. Devin hit by a pitch his last time up. Came around and scored in that big 4th inning for the Wildcats. Had a home run earlier. Pulled the string and fooled Burks. By the way, Kentucky 2nd in team pitching as well. Tennessee in conference games 6th in the league in pitching. Mentioned Blake Burke. Number 2 in the league right now in conference play with a .417 average against SEC opponents. Ryan Waldschmidt coming in to today 3rd in the league in conference games with a .415 average.
That goes on the all-mustache team, too.
Absolutely. Wouldn't you love it? Wouldn't you love it if he and Lopez got together and talked mustache shop? I don't think that'll happen.
No.
3 balls, 2 strikes.
Stay back, Devin. Boy, he just comes right after you. Doesn't he? Reminds me of this little guy years ago named Mark Bombard. He's just going to come right after you.
That's a reference I would not have expected.
Yeah. Just take a little off, put a little bit on.
Devin Burks draws the walk. He can take his time getting to first. All right, on your right, that's Nick Lopez, and you can see got a little more work to do before he catches up with Cannell. I don't think he's using the wax yet, but he says he
Oh, he had
plans
it.
to.
He had it turned up yesterday.
He did.
Yeah, he waxed it up yesterday a little
Did
bit.
he? Okay. Of course, he's got that eye black, so the mustache gets a little lost. But
Yeah.
the mustachioed rivals. So now the leadoff batter for the Wildcats, Ryan Waldschmidt. A 2-run double his last time up. When Cannell starts him off with a big, slow breaking ball. Well, he's been up to the challenge, Waldschmidt, to fastballs this weekend.
He's got to be patient. We kind of expected this being a Sunday game. This is kind of be what it was like.
Well, it's just the way Kentucky plays, too. Keeps coming back. That
Right
will
idea.
fade. Yep. Wildcats came from 6-0 down against Murray State, 7-0 down against Auburn on the road for victories. Cats found themselves down 5-0 with nobody out to open yesterday's game and just kept grinding. I'm just wondering, Mr. Flynn, and you've played a lot of baseball. You know Devin Burks has a sore hamstring. Do you really throw over there?
Well, you know, they just sometimes break up the routine.
Yeah. Hammered high and deep. Ensley on the run, but he's tracking.
Look, yeah, it looks like they may have moved Tears over to center field.
You are right. It is Tears.
Yeah.
They hit for Ensley.
And that's Death Valley in this ballpark.
So now with 1 for 2 today, he's driven in a run. Starts him off with a big bender. Wildcats just trying to put base runners on, put some pressure on these Vols. Got the edge. Cannon Peebles behind the plate now for Tennessee. The boy Stark has done his job this weekend. Handling pitchers, getting on base.
Yeah, gets on base twice today and scores both times.
Yep. And did it in the 9-hole. Three balls, 2 strikes. Got under it. Tears again. 2 out. Wildcats would love to answer, obviously, after giving up a 5 spot, but they're 2 out. That brings up Grant Smith. Bunt single. A fly ball, and he's lined out to first base. Wildcats put up a run in the 5th inning and threatened to do more, but they bounced into a double play. That's how that big inning ended for Tennessee in the 6th. Fooled Grant Smith down and in. Great crowd and nobody's left. They've seen a lot of action today. 1 ball, 1 strike. Another big slow bender. Boy, just a steady diet of left-handers out of that Tennessee pen. Two balls, 2 strikes.
Even when he misses, he's around the plate somewhere.
Dalton Bargo now in right field, by the way. 2-2. Got away from Peebles. Burks can jog to second. So now a man in scoring position for the Wildcats. Burks is the tying run. And the count is 3-2. Wants a new baseball. Cannell from Johnson City, Tennessee. Well, Smith measured that breaking pitch.
Yep. Tried to drive it through that right side. Boy, Cannell's done a good job, though, and he's not overpowering. He just changes speeds, moves it up and down.
That is crushed. Deep left field.
Wind
Dreiling goes back. It's gone. On a 3-2 pitch, Grant Smith puts a charge into the baseball and the crowd here at Kentucky Proud Park, and the Wildcats retake the lead. It's a Spider-Man moment at the plate, and it's a celebration here in Lexington.
Man, he gets a good pitch and not sure if it's going to go. He knows he's hit it well, but with this wind, which has actually kind of turned back towards left center just a little bit, and like almost a good play in the outfield.
Cannell disgusted with himself, making a mistake. And watching the Wildcats shortstop turn on one as Nick Lopez steps up. And for Grant Smith, home run number 5 on the year.
You're right, not too many people have left.
No.
What else are you going to do today on a beautiful Sunday afternoon?
You don't think about home runs with Grant Smith, but remember last year he had that streak where he had 5 straight games with home runs.
That's right, yep.
Not going to challenge Jack Caglione for that record, but it was just an amazing run.
So his record comes to an end last night, is that correct?
Absolutely. But he got the win on the mound.
Aha.
Good pitch to retire Nick Lopez for his 5th save of the year. And Kentucky hoping Travis Smith can reach back to what he had on Friday, which, Doug, was good stuff.
I think he's got wonderful stuff. If he just got to learn to harness it like that.
Dalton Bargo, for the first time today, he was 0 for 2 on Friday, got to start as the DH. He's batting in the 9 hole. Falls behind, no balls, 2 strikes. Had a couple of runs batted in over Bellarmine on Tuesday. And a 2-run shot against Auburn a couple of weeks ago. Smith comes right back at him with 95.
0-2 doesn't have to be that good. But
Back
man,
on.
his arm, I'm telling you, Dick, I love
It's lively.
it is lively.
And he was the Friday starter till he had a minor injury. It sidelined him for a couple weeks. Fargo back on March 30th drove in 4 runs in a win over Georgia. One ball, 2 strikes. Got under it. McCarthy tracks. 1 out. So that brings up the top of this powerful lineup. Christian Moore has done the damage today. A 2-run homer, a double. He has scored 2 runs. He's 2 for 3. Came into the weekend 5 of 10 in Lexington. He's enjoyed his stay in the Bluegrass to a point. Obviously, he'd love to leave this ballpark with a series win. It would be Kentucky's first series loss, as the Cats have just rolled through conference play for the most part. Big slow curveball broke around the plate, 2-0. Since 2021, Vols have played in 4 top 5 series.
Did he do it again?
He may have. Into the wind, over the wall. We're tied. Did I mention he's having fun in Lexington? Second home run of the day for Christian Moore. And it's all knotted up. They just can't seem to get him out.
They keep throwing him up, too.
Yep.
And you keep throwing him up. And just a little bit out over the plate. He extends those arms. You can tell he's got good power. I mean, there it is, just right over the heart of the plate and about belt high.
So with 2 home runs today, Christian Moore now with 18. He and Burke, as I mentioned, battling for the all-time lead. And this young man, Blake Burke, now.
Thought this park played big.
Well, when the wind's blowing out and you're getting belt-high fastballs, it shrinks. Burke 1 for 3 today with a double. And he jumps out 2 balls, no strikes. I talked about top 5 series. Volunteers coming in have won 8 of 12. He scored an error, but it was such a hard smash, they later changed it. And similarly, they changed a hard smash to Daly at third base. That was Burks, and then another one, a Kentucky batter. Petrie had one reversed, and his turned into a double. Turned out to be the game-winning hit Friday night. That was inside, but the crowd loved it. 3-1 now. Dangerous pitch coming up. Took something off that.
Yep.
That's a gutsy pitch. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Daly shifts to the right side. 1 out. Spoils that one.
He lined out to third the other night. He's got to hit the left today off the end of his bat. They're having a hard time trying to. They've kept him pretty much under, as you say, under control for the most of the weekend.
That one is hit hard and foul. Waldschmidt gave it what he had. Under Tony Vitello, the Volunteers now playing in their 37th series against a ranked team. And their record in those series is 21-15. They've won 16 of the last 22. Right now they're at 8-1 on Sundays this year. Again, the 3-2. Stays alive, gets just enough. Coming in this weekend, Burke, number 10 in the country in batting average. Again, the 3-2. Petrie can't get it. That's a base hit. McCarthy chases it down in center field, and with one out, there's a man aboard. So Burke battling through that at-bat. Travis Smith challenged him, and he was up to it.
Boy, just got a breaking ball again. I mean, he hit it with some authority.
Yeah, he hits it so hard the infielders don't have a whole lot of chance. So now Billy Amick. Infield single, moved up to second on a throwing error on the same play and came around to score. Back in that big sixth inning. Wildcats have scored in 4 consecutive frames. Tennessee back-to-back frames with 5 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th. This game started out like it was going to be a pitcher's duel. Didn't
Yep.
it?
You forgot, though, it's a Sunday.
It is. Balls went down in order. The first 6 batters, actually the first 8 batters. He did not. Yep.
Good call.
Wildcats had a hit in the first inning, had a hit in the second inning, didn't get anything done. Then the scoring began. 1-2. Ow. Well, we've seen some owies today, haven't we? And Doug, you were talking about this a few minutes ago, but that third inning for Tennessee began with a 2-out walk to the number 9 hitter.
Yep.
Christian Moore came up and unloaded a 2-run bomb. That changed everything. 2-0 lead
Yep.
for Tennessee, and Kentucky scored 6 straight runs, and Tennessee 5 in the 6th. Cats answered with 2. Tennessee puts one up this inning. It's like a heavyweight fight.
Yeah, that's what 2 good teams do.
Up and in from Travis Smith. That is strike 3 to Billy Amick. 2 out.
Breaking balls away, fastball up and in. So, and at 95 on that one, and he's already hit 97 today. So he's got a really good arms. Just trying to harness that thing.
Kavares Tears with 2 out. First pitch swinging. Drew a walk back in the 6th inning. Came around to score. Had a comebacker and a strikeout. And been a busy man on defense, both in right field and now in center. Good off-speed pitch. No balls, 2 strikes to Tears. He's had a chance to show off his arm in right field today.
And he has a good one.
Oh, yeah. 2 out. Once again, pulled the string on the outer edge. Tears looked like he was on it.
He looked like he was on the other ball up. And they take some good swings, don't they? Even when they're fouling pitches off. But
Yep. That's why they're number 1 in the country offensively.
yeah.
So Smith will regroup and try it again at 0-2. I don't think that pitch
No.
was where Devin Burks wanted it.
It looked like he was moving outside, didn't it?
Sure did.
It looked like an off-speed, some kind of off-speed pitch. He left it right out over the plate.
Dylan Dreiling on deck for Tennessee. Left that one up in the zone. That was
On
dangerous.
another off-speed
Oh,
pitch.
yeah.
Yep.
Volunteers with only 8 hits, but 2 of them home runs. Runner goes. Stolen base for Blake Burke. Balls don't do that much, but Burke steals for the 5th time. He's only been caught once.
Well, he realizes he's not getting a lot of attention over there at first base. Puts himself in scoring position now.
And a pitch upstairs, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Couldn't get him to chase. 2-2. Talked to Tony Vitello back in the 5th about plate discipline. Seeing it all weekend long from both teams, really.
Yeah. It's only 4 or 5 straight off-speed pitches. 6.
3 balls, 2 strikes. With 2 out.
They used to say if you throw it 2-2, you'll throw it 3-2. So we'll see if that's what he does here.
Another left-handed hitter on deck. One just as dangerous as the other, it seems. That is going to stay fair.
Yep. 7
That's
straight,
gone.
7 straight off-speed pitches.
Wow.
And he just kept putting them up there in his eyes.
A line drive that left the ballpark. And Tears with home run number 13. And the Vols retake the lead. Cannot hang one against this team. 3rd home run of the day for Tennessee. And a 3 spot here in the 7th. So that brings up Dylan Dreiling. Petrie was shifting over, but now finds the ball and throws him out. But on the mound, and that's why they have surrendered the lead now and will try to go to work against Cannell and the Vols, and Mitchell Daly swings at strike 1. Mitchell 2 for 3 today. One of those 3 homers for the Wildcats and trying to bunt his way on. Cannell fielding his position. 1 out. Cats have bunted twice for a base hit today.
Yeah. If he gets it down just another step, he's got a base hit. But like a cat, Cannell comes off that mound.
He's played a lot of baseball for the Volunteers, a senior. Now Ryan Nicholson, 2 base hits today in 3 trips. Has his average up to 322. Took a healthy cut
Sure
there.
did. A little breaking ball that probably didn't break as much as, almost like a backup slider.
No balls, 2 strikes now. Ryan's driven in 37. Nicholson's debut down at USC Upstate had 2 base hits, including a double.
Took him a little while to get going, but seems to be very comfortable now in the lineup.
Did he go? Well, they say yes.
First one they've called, isn't it?
Yep. 2 out.
Yeah.
Think so?
Too
Too much barrel movement.
I've seen some others about the same, so it's
agree.
just, you know.
So 2 outs now for Nolan McCarthy. Wildcats did their damage in the last inning with 2 outs and 2 strikes on Grant Smith. Hit a 3-2 pitch out of the yard. McCarthy, straightaway center, gone.
Are you kidding me?
Wow. The deepest part of the ballpark, and it cannot hold Nolan McCarthy. It's 10-9.
We've seen him hit 2 that way.
Yep.
This year. I mean, you see rarely any at all, and he has hit a couple, and cat's not going away. That's a breaking ball on the outside part of the plate. Man, he shows you some kind of power.
I don't even know if that was on the sweet spot of that bat. I thought it was off the end of the bat, but he got plenty.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. When Tears just kept going back, I got to think at one point he thought, well, I got a shot at this. So 10-9 Wildcats, who have scored now in 5 consecutive innings.
Looks like Patrick Herrera was going to be pinch hitting here for McCoy.
Patrick was Kentucky's right fielder for a while early in the season. McCoy got hot, so he won the job for a while. Patrick saw action at Ole Miss. Had a base hit against the Rebels. There you see his numbers, a .310 average.
It's tough to come off the bench and swing that bat. But your momentum, I mean, your enthusiasm and everything from watching a game like this carries you quite a bit.
Patrick, a 3-hit game against Lipscomb when he drove in 4 back in March. Well, lead things off for Tennessee. Travis Smith back on the mound for the Wildcats. And his second relief appearance of the weekend. Gave up a couple of long balls in the 7th. And that's a base hit for Curley. That's his second of the day. Leadoff man reaching.
And he got a nice, short, little compact swing, doesn't he?
Volunteers over the last 2 nights have really roughed up Kentucky pitchers. 14 hits yesterday. Only 6 on Friday. Wildcats have posted their share. 13 today. 10 yesterday. And now Cannon Peebles gets his second at bat. Did the job last time with a sac fly. Daly creeping in at third. Curley is the one imminent threat to go for Tennessee. He is 6 for 6 on the season. Balls have stolen 1 bag today. Well, they were quiet through 5 innings, just a 2-run homer by Moore, and then they've exploded for 8. And now Travis Smith falls behind 3-0. There is action in the Kentucky pen. Well, you had to think that Nick Mingione, Dan Roselle were hoping this young man could close this game out when they brought him in.
Yep. It's just.
There's that strike you were looking for, the fastball. Three-two. Smith battling back. Peebles, the NC State transfer. Runner goes. Found right back over our heads. Peebles, a switch hitter and a senior. Came on to hit for Hunter Inslee.
About almost 6,800 here at the ballpark, 21,000 over the weekend.
That's ball 4.
What? Oh.
So now first and second, nobody out. Another take it surrendered by the Wildcats. And it brings up Reese Chapman. Cats keep helping Tennessee dig the hole. Ball's they have seen a lot of entertaining baseball. Chapman off to a good start. He doesn't throw pure gas, but he's got a lot of life to his fastball.
Yeah, and he's got that good off-speed pitch, too.
You were saying?
Uh-huh.
At Erskine College, he averaged nearly 15 strikeouts per 9 innings at Hummel. Had 18 saves in his career there at Erskine in 58 appearances.
I doubt this pitch will be in the strike zone. Oh, I was wrong.
Petrie's going to get the lead runner.
Yep.
So now they're at the corners, 1 out. And Chapman did the right thing trying to go the other way.
Well, he's trying to pull it. Yeah, he wanted to get the ball on the ground, which makes it very hard to double him up, and you still now got a position. They're in double play position, but you got a fly ball and knock in another run.
Yep. So now Dalton Bargo, who hit a fly ball to center his last time up. Hummel picked up save number 5 on Friday night. Trey Poozer with a good start. Travis Smith came on for 2 scoreless innings, as we mentioned earlier. And then Hummel walked a man, struck out a man, and kept the balls off the board to close things out.
Boy, he'd love to have that double play ball right now.
Just off the outer edge. Hummel won a scoreless inning against Louisville. Popped up. Short center. McCarthy coming on. And that'll hold the runner at third.
Yep.
2 out.
2 down.
Hummel picked up 2 saves in the Auburn series. Got one at Ole Miss. And picked up a save in the first series of the year at USC Upstate. So, Christian Moore. What do you say?
You say he has been unbelievable.
Yes, he has. 2 home runs today, a double, 3 for 4, 8 for 14 on the weekend with 3 home runs. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yep. That's gone. Christian Moore leading the cheers as he rounds first base, and the Big Orange fans love it. Wow.
That is pretty amazing.
Burke's having a day. He's 2 for 4, a single and a double. So now Christian Moore with 6 runs batted in, 4 runs scored. Some video game numbers he's piling up. And again, the Vols went down in order in the first, in the second, and then the first 2 in the third before they got started. Crowd wanted that pitch, but it looked up here like it had missed. Three balls, 1 strike. Deep to left, but there's Waldschmidt. And that'll do it. But
Do for you.
yeah. Boy, is he gutsy. You know, you wonder why is he out there? Well, you see, he knows so many ways to help his team on offense, but pitchers love throwing to him. His teammates love him. Always a smile. Known as the happiest man in baseball. Not happy right now with his team down. 1-1. Oh, Dean Curley climbed that ladder. Took a hit away from Evan Burks. Doug, you can't square it up much better.
No, and then you got a 6'3" shortstop too, so that didn't help. But boy, hit that ball right on the button.
Tip your cap to the Tennessee defense. Now Ryan Waldschmidt. 2 for 4, a double, a single. He's driven in 2. Two home runs this weekend. 7 for 12. Got under that. Tears to the wall.
Well,
Didn't miss it by much.
not by much. Was it ball flying today?
Yep.
It is really going. Yeah, he just missed that pitch.
That's the thing. You get under it today with this wind. And
But to that part,
that's what makes McCarthy's blast even more impressive. So with 2 out, Amelia and Petrie will try to keep things going. Cats have done damage with 2 outs. Petrie 1 for 3 with an RBI, sac fly back in the 4th inning. Back as the Cats put up a 4 spot and took a 5-2 lead. They stretched it to 6-2. Gave the lead back and took it back. And it's been all Vols for the most part since the end of the 6th inning.
and they bring the thunder to you.
Wildcats have hit their share of home runs, but it is almost impossible to keep pace with this Tennessee team.
Well, you can't. You have to play good ball against them. You can't spot them runs with either mistakes, walks, whatever, because they will take advantage.
Wildcats have put up 9 runs and 13 hits, but so far not enough.
Now, that's enough to win a lot of ball
It
games.
usually is. You know, we always talk about Hoover in the SEC tournament, 1-1. Knocked down by Moore. But Petrie's going to beat it out, and the ball's back it up. Cannell goes over to corral the ball. Second base hit of the day for Petrie.
Well, that would have topped off a pretty fabulous day if you'd made that play.
Yep. I know we talk about Hoover, and that is a big ballpark, and at night, things don't really carry. You got to think this Tennessee team, though, can get out of that yard.
Yeah. When it 1 year there, that Kentucky got beat by Georgia, and they had like 21 singles or 16.
Dribblers. I mean, just, yeah, I think it was 16 just bleeders. That was the year Kentucky won the SEC tournament. Lost, I think, to South Carolina maybe 2-1 on a home run. Hit hard by Grant Smith, but there's tears. And the Wildcats go scoreless in the eighth. We'll go to the ninth. 13-9 Tennessee. So now Johnny Hummel back on the mound for the Wildcats, and obviously imperative that he keep Tennessee scoreless. Billy Amick struck out his last time up. Billy's 0 for 4, but I beg your pardon, 1 for 4. Had an infield single, reached second on an error, came around and scored in the 6th inning. That's when Tennessee really turned this thing around with a 5 spot. Wildcats did answer, but the balls have not slowed down since. Mason Moore was not his best today. And the Kentucky bullpen faltering, which it has rarely done this year. That home run Hummel gave up just his 3rd of the year. One ball, 2 strikes. If the Wildcats fail to come back, it'll be the first series they've lost this year. And Hummel tied him up on that one, 1 out.
That's just the 4th strikeout by a UK pitcher today.
Well, we've talked about Tennessee's plate discipline.
They really got them. Kentucky's helped with that by not getting ahead of hitters.
So now Kavares tears. He's been productive. Had a home run back in the 7th. But Hummel coming straight over the top of that breaking ball.
He had a really good at bat. Was down 1 and 2, fouled off a bunch of pitches, and then finally drilled one out to right field.
Travis Smith pitched so well Friday, then came on and gave up 5 earned runs today. Bottom falls out of that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kentucky's only walked 4, but it just seems like each time it's come back to hurt the Wildcats. 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
They walked 4, 2 of them scored, 1 hit by pitch is scored.
Now it's 2-2.
He's not called that one all day, so been very consistent on that inside pitch.
Got him looking. Back-to-back strikeouts.
All righty.
Here in the SEC. Dylan Dreiling, 2-run single back in the 6th inning. A couple of runs batted in, as I said. He's 1 for 4 on the day. RBI total up to 48. That's the team high. He's had a lot of fun in Lexington as well, with a couple of home runs. So the inning stays alive. Now Dean Curley.
That almost looked like he didn't really want to throw him a strike, didn't it?
Not sure what he was trying to accomplish there.
Just struggling a little bit, get the first two guys out, and then
Curley 2 for 3. And by the way, our condolences to anybody who had trouble with the cell phone outages yesterday. I've been hearing a lot about that. The 0-1 to Curley. McCarthy tracking, and that'll do it. So a scoreless ninth. Wildcats down to their last. Just need to put pressure on Cannell. Ruben Church pinch hitting.
so how about this? Moore with his 3 home runs is the 7th UT player in history with a 3 home run game. And we think it's the first one here since TJ Collect in 2021. Oh.
Ruben Church gets into one, but it hangs.
Yep.
And Tears runs it down. Church batting for Lopez. So 1 out. Excuse me, that is not Tears. Colby Backus.
Tears back over in his customary right
Back
field
home.
position.
Yep. Go get your eraser out again. Now Mitchell Daly. Mitchell with a home run and a single, 2 for 4. Led off the 4th inning with a home run. That was the 4 spot the Wildcats put up. Brought this crowd to life, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
5-2 lead.
5-2 lead. Then went out and got a good shutout inning in.
Made it 6-2.
And then
The roof began to cave in. Vols got to 7 runs. Kentucky led it 8-7. But since then, Tennessee has overpowered the Wildcats. It's nice to know, though, if you're a Tennessee person, that you're never really out of a game. Daly drills it to center. Back goes Backus. That's his 2nd home run.
wow.
So make it 18 home runs on the weekend. And another home run to center field.
I don't know that I've ever seen the ball fly like it is today in this ballpark.
Nope. No.
This should be a good lesson maybe to some of the relief guys. Say, all right, we got a job to do when we come in there because this team doesn't quit playing.
Wildcats have 2 more outs. Can they score 3 more? Ryan Nicholson.
It could happen.
Absolutely. Kentucky has scored in 6 of the 9 innings.
Boy, 15 hits on the day.
Nicholson hammers one deep. It's gone.
Right? Can they get 2 more?
It could happen. Nicholson with number 12 on the year. And what a stroke.
Yeah, ball's down. The pitcher knew too.
Griffin Cameron opened the season in center, a true freshman from Lexington. Ty Krittenberger playing some center field this year. As Doug said, Nolan, when he got his chance to nail down the job, he did just that. Of course, with Waldschmidt injured and DHing early, McCarthy played some left field early in the year.
Oh, Nolan.
One ball, two strikes. Up the middle, Christian Moore got him by a step. 2 out. Looked like he fooled him, but McCarthy put it in play. So now Patrick Herrera came on to bat for McCoy and play right field back in the 7th inning. Caught looking his first time up. We'll just try to keep the inning alive.
That's right. You get on, and then you just a bloop and a blast.
Transfer in from Northwestern. Came in last year, didn't play much. He's played some infield and outfield this year for the Wildcats. From Mesa, Arizona. And delivers.
It could happen.
So now Devin Burks. We've talked about it probably too much all game, as he pulled that hamstring on Tuesday, but has played all weekend long. And you would never know it except to watch him run the bases, the way he has battled behind the plate and the day he has had offensively. A home run, he was hit by a pitch and scored, drew a walk and scored, and then last time up, absolutely tagged one to the shortstop, plucked out of the air, and he'll see Herrera at first base. Good speed. Devin, of course, will not beat out anything because of that leg, but he has absolutely squared things up today. 2 out, and Burks represents the tying run. Looks at 94. And at 6'4", 250, you got to think that Phillips can consistently run it up there mid-90s. It's 93. 1 ball, 1 strike. .95 at the hands. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Stay up the middle, Devin. Good fastball there.
Amick guards the line at third base. Burke stays alive. That was only 97.
Dang. There's a little adrenaline going. Woo!
What a find at Iowa Western for Tony Vitello and the Volunteers. Orange-clad fans are on their feet. 1 strike away from a series win. That may do it. Short right field. Tears makes the grab for out number 3. And Tennessee has won the series, and the Vols mobbing Phillips